So my research is about developing new type of technologies to help physicians, nurses to be able to better document and process information. So how to use that data to predict the disease outbreak, the person who is coming to the hospital, how do you know the likelihood the person may die in the hospital? Because based on the data, historical data, you can do a pretty good model to predict the outcomes of the patient. And then you can do something about the higher risk patients, for instance. So we develop systems and trying to use the data captured in those systems to inform better decision making so that doctors will be able to treat their patients better. But healthcare is a very unique industry where the data are not very trustworthy because the doctors don't have time to enter data into your computer system. They are under time pressure, they have a lot of distractions, and then we are trying to make prediction based on imperfect data. Some aspects of my research is to improve the design of the systems so we can make it easier for people to enter data. I came to the US in 1999, right after I graduated from college. Back then, the difference between China and the US was huge in terms of life of living, freedom, and education quality of universities. It was a pretty big shock. And culturally, you get to know a lot of people from different countries, backgrounds. Yeah, nowadays, I think students, when they come to the US, they don't feel this kind of shock. They don't feel so much different. When I was in my PhD program, for instance, we have a community of Chinese students coming from mainland China. We kind of hold on together. That's probably still true today. But back then, because we're such a minority group, it feels much stronger that you have someone from your similar backgrounds to talk to. Because I remember when I first came here, a lot of Chinese Americans, they don't want to recognize or they don't want to acknowledge that they are Chinese. They will say, I'm American, I'm not talking with you, something like that. But I think now that perception is much, is minority. Well, I think you should cherish your Chinese heritage, your own culture, your root. Even if you don't necessarily feel that that's your culture, you grow up in the US, you are kind of attached to the American culture. Other people, no matter what you perceive, they will perceive you as the Chinese first, American second. So it's important that we realize that, and now they also have the practical advantage if they know how to speak Chinese. We are strong. I mean, we are smart, so we should be proud of ourselves. And not afraid of competing and confronting people in society. Asians are a minority group, but on a lot of fronts, we're not treated as minority. That's always a problem, and I think we should fight for that. So we need to be more open to talk about the issues, and I'm sure that we will continue to excel in other domains.